Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything. Continuing today, drawing every country in the world's flag. And as you can see, we are closing in on another page here. We are almost halfway there, almost at the halfway point. So a landmark episode coming up here. We are at 96 flags with this one that we're doing today. 97 will be the halfway point, so tomorrow we'll be hitting that. And today we're doing the country of Tuvalu. All right, and I know what you're thinking, James. Are you making up countries again? What is Tuvalu? Well, first off, it's Tuvalu, okay, not Tuvalu. And yes, this is a real country. It is in Oceania, so it's kind of like halfway between Australia and Hawaii. And Tuvalu, it's one of the least visited countries in the world. Part of the reason for that is it's just kind of hard to get to. I believe there's like 2 main islands and a bunch of little ones. Tuvalu only has like 1 airport and just not really easy to get to. So as far as like tourist destinations, probably not a lot of people going to Tuvalu. And it does have another one of them Union Jack flags, you know, that are pretty detailed. It's got the little Union Jack up in the corner, so it's going to be kind of hard to draw, but we'll give it our best here. And actually I'm probably going to bust out my finer line for this one, for the red. Yeah, Tuvalu, they say it was settled by either Samoans or Tongans, not quite sure, around the first millennium AD. And when I was a kid, I used to remember all these countries by what wrestlers came from there, right? So you had your wild Samoans from Samoa. You had Jimmy Snuka from the Fiji Islands. You had Haku from Tonga. But nobody from Tuvalu. So Tuvalu, one of the countries I probably failed to guess correctly on my geography test, solely based on the fact that there was no pro wrestlers from Tuvalu, as far as I know. So the islands were basically like a stepping stone for various Polynesian communities. So kind of a bit of a strategic importance there. Melanesians, Micronesians, they became under Samoan and Tongan spheres of influence when those countries kind of became, or those kingdoms became like the seat of Pacific power. Yeah, this Union Jack, we're going to be drawing this a few times. I know we already did Australia, and as you know, that Union Jack, it's on a lot of them Commonwealth flags, and we're not going to get into the history of the Union Jack yet. You know, we eventually will when we do the United Kingdom. I think that'll be a good time to talk about the old Union Jack. You know, very iconic. You immediately think of Britain when you see that. So, of course, Tuvalu does have some British influence. And in like the late 1700s, early 1800s, you get a lot of foreign influence kind of coming into Tuvalu, right? So that's when like all these countries kind of start expanding their spheres of influence into the Pacific, right? Trying to open up like them like Asian trade routes. So, you know, going into China, Japan, getting trade there. Had to make a pit stop in the Pacific Ocean somewhere. So it became attractive for commercial interests around that time. And yeah, the Union Jack, it's always rough doing it just because it's not completely like symmetrical. It is kind of just like its own thing. So you got that cross and the little X in the back. Dutch, Russians, they were also visiting that part of the world, in the 19th century. They named it Ellis Island, not the immigrant island, Ellice, in 1819. And then shortly after that, well, not really shortly, I guess, but 1892, the UK declared those Ellis Islands a protectorate, merging with the Micronesian Gilbert Islands. So it became the Gilbert and Ellis Island Protectorate, and became a colony of the British in 1916, right? So kind of during like the backdrop of World War I. Let me just get my blues here in the right spot. Yeah, again, the old UJ, the Union Jack. It's got fatter lines, and then it's got skinnier lines on like the other side. So maybe I need to bust out my ruler for this, because I want to get it kind of right up to that red. That nice navy blue in there. I'll do the same for the other side, although it's fatter white line on the other side. Okay. And then obviously, during World War II, a lot of Japanese influence in that part of the world, as Japan was kind of protecting its own interests during the war. They captured many of the northern Gilbert Islands, and then the UK made some deals where they kind of transferred around some of their possessions to Funafuti Islands. And then after the war, they were once again administered by the UK. And we're getting there. Hold on. Yeah, so I got to do this for New Zealand. I got to do this for Fiji. There's still a few more Union Jacks. Yeah, so again, post-World War II, still kind of part of the British Empire, still part of the Commonwealth, obviously, to this day, since it has that flag on it. And so you got the Gilbertese people, the Tuvaluans there. They voted to secede from the British. And they gained independence in 1974. And then there was like a brief transition period where they were allowed self-rule before full independence. So that came in the later 70s, 1978, 1979. The United States also had some interest there as well. They had some properties in the country, and they gave them to Tuvalu. Gotta keep remembering to say that right. And yeah, so it's been pretty much an independent country, independent state ever since. And it's just got, this is another tricky part, because it's got all these stars that are not completely like aligned, like in the same kind of like positions as like the US flag. Some of them are like kind of crooked, and yeah, so definitely a little bit more difficult of a flag to do, but we will manage. Yeah, so like this one over here, this is upside down. And they're also a golden tint, yellow stars. So yellow, you know, always kind of the bane of my existence when I got to color these things in. But yeah, we'll just start with our blue outline first, and then we'll color inside. So it does have like a lighter blue around the stars, and then in all of the background there. So I just want to put my blue down first, my darker color. And we, of course, got to do all of these. So we got to do all the easy ones and all the hard ones. James draws everything, every single one. Even Tuvalu. So again, Tuvalu, one of the least visited countries in the world. So not a lot of people, I think, really know about it. You know, if you're going into that part of the world for tourism or touring the South Pacific there, I guess they're a little bit more northern, but you know what I mean. Those Oceania countries, you're probably going somewhere else. Maybe you're going to like, you're probably going to Hawaii, right? If you're from the United States, but if you're putting all the countries, all the, you know, on your bucket list, your travel list, Tuvalu is, or Tuvalu, probably one that isn't first on the list. All right. Okay, so now with my pencil lines, I'm just gonna erase those. We'll just do that light here so that we don't hopefully smear. Okay, and that's pretty good. Let's see, maybe we can hit that with the yellow now, or medium yellow here. You gotta be a pain, Tuvalu. You can't just have these in all the same orientation. Okay, and then yeah, so again, the Union Jack is for the Commonwealth. They are a Commonwealth country. The 9, there's 9 stars here. They represent the 9 atolls that are in the ocean. And then, of course, ocean country, the blue, means that beautiful Pacific Ocean. I could go for some of that right now. It is getting into the winter season here where I am. We just turned the clocks back, so everything's dark and cold for a couple months here. I could go for some Tuvalu. So maybe I'll be visiting. Yeah, they do not receive many visitors. It's like I think even a lot of like some of these like lesser known like African countries get more. So okay. And then of course, if you ever have been there, I always like to hear in my comments from you guys that are from these countries. I know Tuvalu is kind of being way off the beaten path. You know, infrastructure as far as like internet, transportation and stuff like that. Still a little primitive, right? Probably not what you're used to if like you're from, you know, the first world, the Western countries. but relatively safe country to go to, right? They get a fairly clean bill of health on the travel advisory board, so you can visit Tuvalu basically like you would the United States or any other country that's in that orbit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over my stars just one more time here with my blue pen. Let's see if we could do it with the fat side without going over anything. Alright, make those pop a little bit more. And again, that represents the 9 atolls, the island chains in Tuvalu. So yeah, country has a pretty cool history, right? It's a lot of these Pacific islands, you know, they were not just settled by the British or the French, or, you know, they kind of bounced around a little bit, right? A little bit of Japanese influence there, neighboring influence from like Samoa, Tonga, right? As far as like the DNA, the ethnic makeup of the island. So that is Tuvalu, and we'll just go ahead and we'll close it off here. Closing off page number 6. And then again, tomorrow is the halfway point. So when did I start this? I think I started in July of 2024. I think that sounds right, end of July. So we've come a long way. We still got a ways to go, right? We're only halfway there. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. But yeah, that is Tuvalu. Tuvalu, South Pacific Ocean. Alright, so let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.